Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the Piper Report. I am happy to say that the House has passed two different bills that I agree with. One of them is to block funding of sanctuary cities for those who don't actually uphold the law, and the other one is Kate's Law. I don't know anyone who would vote against Kate's Law. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And what Kate's Law is that if an illegal immigrant continues and continues and continues to come here illegally, they get charged with a worse crime. Because the ones that come here 4 or 5 times, the ones that commit crime after crime, they commit violent crimes. They commit murder. The ones that come here for good, to help out their family, they stay low-key. They don't go out and do crime. They don't go out and assault people. So if people want to argue the fact that, yeah, you're just making it harder for those who have a tough life to come over, no. Because the ones that do come over here, although they shouldn't be here by law, the ones that do come over here, they don't want to get deported. They don't want to break any laws that would get them deported. They stay low-key, do their job, and send their money back home. It's that simple. But the ones that continuously break the law, get deported, and come back, those are the real criminals. Those are the ones that do the violent crimes. So it truly astounds me when people try to block Kate's Law. I know a lot of it is just democratic obstruction. They're just doing it just because they never want to acquiesce to any kind of bill that they didn't create. But seriously, Kate's Law is a no-brainer from day one. I don't know anyone who can properly defend voting against it. It's not possible. Here's the article. House Republicans took action Thursday to crack down on illegal immigrants and the cities that shelter them. One bill passed by the House would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, and another, Kate's Law, would increase the penalties for deported aliens who try to return to the U.S. Kate's Law, which would increase the penalties for deported aliens who try to return to the U.S. and caught, passed with a vote of 257 to 157, with one Republican voting no and 24 Democrats voting yes. These are the Sane Democrats. Kate's Law is named for Kate Steinle, a San Francisco woman killed by an illegal immigrant who was in the U.S. despite multiple deportations. The 2-year anniversary of her death is on Saturday. President Trump called the bill's passage good news in a tweet, adding, "House just passed Kate's Law. Hopefully Senate will follow." It's just... Alright, let's go over this a little bit here. The thing is with this, the argument always becomes that if you want to protect your country from illegal immigrants, that you are automatically racist from all of those who come from Mexico, who come from Colombia, who come from the southern South America and that area. You are considered a bigot because you don't want them here for racial discrimination reasons. That is simply not true. No one, okay, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are some that think just like that. But the majority of the arguments that I read, and that my personal opinion is, they're free to come here, but just come here legally. Because by coming here illegally, you are making it harder for the people who are actually trying to come here legally. And the argument becomes then, well, yeah, you don't care about them. Well, it's like, you don't care about the people who have just as tough lives that are trying to come here legally. You don't care about the people who are being attacked, who are being raped, who are being assaulted by illegal immigrants. Why is it always we have to search for the humanity in the illegal immigrants and not the humanity of the victims of their crimes? There's no doubt that there are some good illegal immigrants. There's no doubt that there are good illegal immigrants who are trying to come here legally. Why is it okay to distinguish between one or the other? Why should we let one break the rules, but the other one can't? Or the other one chooses not to? Why should we punish the one who's trying to follow the law and give the other ones who are breaking the law free reign? It doesn't make sense, especially when it comes to Kate's Law. If you committed crimes, you should be automatically deported. If you come back, you should be arrested and you should face the penalty. Because if you committed crimes in a country that you were not legally supposed to be in, then you have no right stepping here again until you go through the proper procedures. It's that simple. Donald Trump tweeted, "He should not have been here, and she should not have died," our House Speaker Ryan said Thursday, in a final push for Kate's Law, an earlier version of which was blocked in the Senate last year. Paul Ryan's a joke. He's a rhino, but I'm glad he got this bill passed. Now, the question becomes, what will happen in the Senate? Because Republicans, they don't have 60 members. So, by procedural settings, the Democrats can filibuster this. Now, I think there is some ways around that. I think Mitch McConnell, the turtle, may be able to figure out some ways. Frankly, I think the leaders we have in Congress right now, Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, those people need to get the hell out of Congress, and we need to vote in fresh people, people with no political background, people that want to do right with the people. But I digress on that. But anyways, I think there is a way to pass it, but I am anxious and I'm curious to see. I know Chuck Schumer, I 100% guarantee you Chuck Schumer will vote against Kate's Law, and he will stand up and he will defend the illegal immigrants. I 100% guarantee you, and if I am wrong, you can unsubscribe to me. But Chuck Schumer will not vote yes on Kate's Law. He will not. Where we at here? Our job here is to make sure that those professionals have the tools that they need and the resources that they need to carry out their work and protect our communities. That is what these measures are all about. The other bill, which would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, passed with a vote of 228 to 195, with 3 Democrats voting yes and 7 Republicans voting no. Now this one, okay, I think this is a good idea, but on this one, I can actually see the argument, and I can actually understand why they're arguing it. I don't agree with it. I don't think they're right by doing it, but I can understand it. Kate's Law, I cannot understand it. There are probably people in sanctuary cities. There are good people in sanctuary cities, but there are also criminals in sanctuary cities. There are gang members who know they can live in a sanctuary city unmolested by the police because they are protected in their city. So all they have to do then, if they are from a gang in Mexico or from the cartel or anything, they just have to get to a sanctuary city and seek haven, and they are protected. That's what I don't like about it. It's not that sanctuary cities are being suppressed. All this bill does is make sure that those police officers uphold the law. That if they find someone who is here illegally, they let the Immigration Control Enforcement Agency know. They let ICE know so ICE can handle it properly. Just because you're here illegally doesn't mean you are getting deported automatically. Even Trump said he wants to get rid of the criminals here. And technically, yes, all illegal immigrants are criminals, but he wants to get rid of the ones who commit crimes onto others, and not crimes here just because they want to come here to help their families. So this one, I can understand why people will argue against it. I still think it's wise. I think it's good. I think the states should uphold their law. I also do find it funny that all of a sudden the people that are against this bill or against this notion of sanctuary cities must obey federal law, most of them are on the left, right? Most of them are Democrats, stuff like that. All of a sudden, they care about states' rights. All of a sudden, they care about federalism. This never happened before. They had no problem when Obama was writing executive order after executive order, completely bypassing Congress and the legislation system. They didn't care about that. By then, it was the federal government has control. We have to listen to him. But now it's all about states' rights. Now they want federalism to overtake our current democracy, just to undermine Trump and his presidency. It is kind of hypocritical, but the Republicans do it too, so that's just the nature of politics, to be completely hypocritical in everything they stand for. And it's a dirty business, and that's why it has to get cleaned out by good, honest people who have integrity. And yes, there are some out there. There are people like that out there. They just don't have the public backing of others because they're not controlled through dark money, through special interests and lobbyists. Nowadays, all the incumbents in Congress, they have so much extra wealth added to their name. It's funny, before I get in that, people who go into Congress, I read a study somewhere, I forgot what it was. All new congressmen and congresswomen, when they leave, They have a lot more money than when they started. It's not the same money. It's not less. It's way, way more. So I do find that funny in that. But yeah, there are people out there. We just have to find them. We have to get rid of the dark money in politics. I'm kind of going on a rant here, but where are we at here? I think this is a story about Kate Steinle here. We'll go over it really quick. The brutal murder of Steinle catapulted the issue of illegal immigration into the national spotlight. Alleged shooter Juan Francisco Lopez Sanchez had been deported 5 times and had 7 felony convictions. Okay, now seriously, no one should ever argue against that. Ever. But I mean argue. No one should say, well, yeah, but he has a right to be here, everybody else. No one should say that. On Wednesday, Trump highlighted other cases during a White House meeting with more than a dozen families of people who had been victimized by illegal immigrants, including Jamal Shah Sr. That's what I was saying earlier. The argument becomes, I'm not going to repeat myself over and over here because you guys are probably getting annoyed by me, but just one last thing again, is that no one cares about the people who are attacked by illegal immigrants. No one cares about the humanity of them, the pain and suffering that they are exposed to. They care about the people who are suffering in other countries and who want to come here for a better life. But no one ever cares about how that affects people of this nation. It's not bigoted. It's not racist. It's not demagoguery to say you want to take care of your citizens first because they are legal citizens here. After you take care of your citizens, then by all means, be an altruist. Be a philanthropist. Do all that. Help out all the world that you want. But take care of your citizens first before you take care of others at the expense of your own citizens. Again, I'm sorry for repeating myself, and I'm sorry for the rant, but it had to be said. And I'm done.